everyone, I'm Nana Chabra with my IELTS tutor. This is chapters of writing task 2. So far we have understood two essential marking criteria in writing task 2. Now it's time to learn about the third marking criteria, which is known as lexical resource. Now, this is something which you might have heard for the first time, but you commonly know lexical resource by vocabulary. And I think this is the, one of the most important criteria of writing task 2, and because most of the students are following it, are using it in incorrect manner. Now let's understand what is lexical resource. Essentially, lexical resource means usage of words. How you're using different words to express or to convey your expressions. Now, it comes from lexis, which means all the words in language. But you might know this by vocabulary, right? Now, if I say, as IELTS is a language test, a big part of it is related to the use of vocabulary. What kind of words you are using, how is your vocabulary, how naturally you are using the word, it matters a lot. And I receive a lot of questions from students related to vocabulary. I have seen students asking for a list of vocabulary and they want to memorize or mug up those words and write it in their task. Or they want to mug them up and speak in their speaking part. Do you think that it is going to help you? I don't think so. If you are using this approach, you are memorizing the words and you are using it in a different way in your writing task or in your speaking, instead of boosting your band score, your band score will be dropped. So it is very important to understand lexical resource precisely. Now, as task response and coherence and cohesion constitutes of 25% of our total bands, similarly in lexical resource you will be assigned 25% of your bands. Similarly, lexical resource also constitutes of 25% of your overall band score in both writing and in speaking. Now, it means आपको lexical resource में भी out of 9 band मिलेंगे. Now, this is how we are going to be scored in our writing task. So, this is 6, 7, 8, 9. So, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do to be at 8 band in lexical resource. So for this, we need to understand what is examiner actually looking for in our vocabulary and how we need to handle it and what we are actually doing it, because there are a lot of misconceptions related to vocabulary usage in your IELTS test. Because students, they actually want to use some fancy good words which no one has heard, and they want to impress examiner by using the fancy vocabulary. And what if I tell you that you don't have to use any fancy words, but yes, good words which are useful, that they can help you to boost your band score. How to use them, what kind of words are required, we'll be talking in the upcoming slides. But let's have a look like what we are doing and what we need to do in lexical resource. If I have a look at 6 band criteria of lexical resource, it is saying that use adequate range of vocabulary for the task. Student is using adequate range, right? Less common words are used, but some inaccuracy is there. We are trying to use some less common words. So what is less common word? What are less common words? Are they those words which no one knows? No, they are not. We'll be understanding less common words in further slides, right? And yes, if you are at 6, it means you are making errors in your spelling also. That is part of your lexical resource. So you don't have to make frequent spelling errors to boost your band score. For 7 band, student is using sufficient range of vocabulary. Adequate, they are using adequate, like fine, it is there, it could be seen, but sufficient means good variety, right? Now, but here, when you are using range of vocabulary, you are showing flexibility and precision, which is important. Flexibility and precision you are showing to the examiner. You are at 7. Now, you are using less common lexical item with awareness in style of collocations. What is this? What is written here? Is it understandable, or are you able to understand it? If not, I'll be explaining in the further slides. Now, 8 band. Again, you are using wide range, variety in your vocabulary. Fluently means naturally, flexibly convey precise meaning, right? You are skillfully using uncommon lexical item, but maybe occasional inaccuracies in words. So occasional means one or two inaccuracies, but otherwise you're using good words, skillfully managing lexical resources, you're using your vocabulary naturally with flexibility and precision, right? So this is what we need to do. And 9 band simply means wide range vocabulary, natural, sophisticated control with minor slips. Slips are like even native speakers, they make slips. A very occasional error, one or two incomplete in your whole writing task. So they are slips, just by mistake done it. Now, so what we have understood till now, what we need to do here, we have to use less common words. एक तो हमें पता चला less common word use करने हैं, वो क्या है, we have to understand. Then they were talking about flexibility. 7 band तक आने के लिए less common word use करो, flexibility. They were talking about precision and they were talking about collocations. Now let's understand them in detail and how we need to approach it. We need to know that. See, if I talk about flexibility, flexibility means your ability to change. How are you able to change something? This is your flexibility. In your vocabulary, if you want to be at higher band score, अगर आपने 7, 8 को touch करना है lexical feature में, then you can easily do it by understanding how you need to change the word. It is very simple. If I am changing word educate to education, it means I am changing from verb to noun, right? This is my flexibility. If I have a word consume, I am changing it to consumption. It means I am flexibly using the language. I am changing the form of word. Other ways, not affordable. I have used in a single way, unaffordable, right? So this is my flexibility in the language, how I am able to change the word, especially while paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is very important skill in your IELTS test, whether you're doing your reading, writing, speaking or listening. While paraphrasing, especially in writing task, I have seen students, what they do, they want to change each and every word. And because they say repetition ho jayegi, they are taught that repetition is not allowed. In your question, when you are paraphrasing it, it is not important to change each and every word. If you are trying to do it, you will do it incorrectly. It is perfectly fine if you use the same word from the question. Yes, you have to change some words, you have to change the structure of the sentence, but all word, is it possible to change? No, it is not, and you don't have to do it. There is no deduction of marks. The words in the question, you can repeat them. Some words do not have direct synonyms. It is perfectly okay, right? Now, if I talk about less common words, in our band descriptor, if we have a look in our band descriptor, it is written here also. 6 attempts to use. You're trying to use less common words. And if you are using less common lexical features, it means you are at 7. In 8, again, you are here also using less common lexical features for 8. Skillfully use. You are doing it very naturally, skillfully. If you are skillfully using less common words, so you will be at 8. So what are less common words? Let's understand it in detail. Sabse pehle, first thing we need to know is all the words in English language are divided as per CEFR A1, A2, B1, B2, C1 and C2 level. Right? These are the categories in which words are divided. Majority of the words are here, the basic words. To be at 7 or 8, we need to be here. B2 and C1 level words. What are these words? Are they very fancy words? No. If I will show you some words which are C1 or B2, you will actually feel that, okay, we know these words, but why we are not able to use it? So let's take an example here. I have word application. I think most of you might be aware about application. Initial, yes. Considerate, maintain. What are these? These all are C1 level words. So it means what is less common word? Less common words are if we are using C1 level words, but we should know how we are using it. Are we using them correctly? You don't have to learn fancy words. I'm repeating it again. I've seen students writing down the word list in their notebook, memorizing it. If you will memorize and write it in your sentence, it will give, when anyone is reading your essay, a word which you are fixing. आप सिर्फ आपने क्या करना है, वर्ड को फिक्स करना है, फिट करना है बीच में, जो स्टूडेंट्स करते हैं। वर्ड याद करेंगे, कहीं भी उन्होंने फिट करना है। इफ यू आर फिटिंग एनी वर्ड, व्हेन एनीवन विल रीड इट, इवन व्हेन आई रीड इट, व्हेन स्टूडेंट्स राइट, आई कैन इजीली कैच, सो दिस इज अ फिटेड वर्ड। अगर वो फिटेड वर्ड नेचुरल नहीं होगा, इट इज क्लियरली गिवन दैट दिस इज अ मेमोराइज्ड वर्ड which you are using unnaturally. तो बैंड्स कहाँ आ जाएंगे, 6 में। सो यू हैव टू यूज वर्ड्स विच यू आर अवेयर ऑफ, यू हैव टू बिल्ड योर वोकैबुलरी बेस इन अ वेरी प्रोफिशिएंट वे, ताकि आप उन वर्ड्स के मीनिंग के साथ उनको यूज कर पाओ, राइट। एंड द बेस्ट वे टू यूज अनकॉमन वर्ड इज टू बिल्ड टॉपिक रिलेटेड वोकैबुलरी, राइट। You have to build topic related vocabulary. जो भी topic है, for example, I have a topic crime. So what vocabulary I can use for crime? Criminal, convict, transgression, again, which means crime. Incarcerate, which means putting behind bars or in jail. Imprison. So these are the words which I can use. I should be aware about the topic related vocabulary. Pick out the topics, अलग अलग topic pick करो उनके related, try to build your vocabulary, try to understand the words with meaning, with their usage, rather than memorizing the words, just like that. Don't do that. Now, let's see how I'm using these words. Violent offenders ought to be incarcerated, means they need to be put behind the jail or put behind the bars for the protection of society. Likelihood of them re-offending will substantially decline. Re-offending is again topic related vocabulary. Incarcerated, again topic related vocabulary. Offenders, violent offenders, right? So these are some topic related words which I'm using to express my opinion or express my point. Now, precision. Whatever we have understood till now, we have learned about the range. हमने range देनी है, less common words use करने हैं, flexibility के बारे में बात करी. I have seen they are focusing on range. Variety देनी है vocabulary में. They want to give variety, but they always forget कि variety देने के चक्कर में they are forgetting precision. What is precision? Precision simply means accuracy. कितने accuracy के साथ, कितने accurately आप words को use कर रहे हो. If you remember the band descriptor, in every from 7, 8 and 9, it is clearly asking for precise meaning. Precision, it is clearly asking for precise meaning. So if you are forgetting precision, आपकी रेंज भी गलत हो जाएगी, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी भी गलत हो जाएगी. यू हैव टू गिव प्रिसाइज मीनिंग. व्हाट स्टूडेंट्स डू, वर्ड दिखा क्वेश्चन में, दे गूगल इट, whatever words they see, they start fitting in the essay. So we don't have to fit the word, we have to understand it and then write it. You don't have to google the words. Just try to build your base for the topic related words and use the word which you know how to use, ताकि आपको पता हो precision. I'll give an example. अगर आपको क्वेश्चन में वर्ड आया स्टूडेंट, I have seen students writing scholars, children, right? Now who are children? Children, anyone who is studying or is not studying. It is not precise for students. Now scholars, vidwan, right? So students are not scholars, so this is not precise meaning, right? We have to look for precise meanings. For students we can say pupils. So this is something which is conveying precise meaning. Similarly for university, I cannot say college, I cannot say institute. So this is something different. We cannot use these words. We have to use words which convey precise meaning. So for university, there is no direct synonym. What I will do, it is okay if I repeat this word. I can use referencing it, right? तो इस चीज का ध्यान रखना है. तो whatever words you are replacing, it should have precise meaning. Range is important, but अगर precision के साथ range नहीं दी, तो it would lead to the lower band score. Inaccurate word हो जाएगा. For example, I was telling that students start googling the word. This is something I've picked from Google. So if the question is on noise, for noise we can Here we are, synonyms we are getting for noise. It is crash, clatter, clash, babble, shouting, yelling, babble, sound. So are these correct words which we can use for noise? If we get a word noise in our question, can we use these words? No. Noise does not mean babbling, right? Shouting, right? This is just a sound which is produced when we shout. So noise does not have any precise synonym. It is perfectly fine if we repeat this word. Then crime. For crime, yes, offense we can use. What about violation? No, violation is not a correct word. Violation means something when you are not following any rule, that is violating the rule, right? Fault, mistake, injury, can we use it? No. So these are not the accurate synonym. तो हमें जब भी synonym ढूंढने हैं, we don't just have to blindly follow it. Simple way is to build the topic related, learn the topic related words. What you need to understand is you have to, you should know some words which are commonly used in essay. You should know the synonyms of them, and you should have knowledge about topic related vocabulary. That too precisely, how to use them correctly. Now, the last thing is collocations. If you are not using collocation, आप अपनी vocabulary में 7 को touch भी नहीं कर पाओगे. You will not be able to touch 7 band if you are not using collocation, right? And I have seen many people saying these 5 words, use these 5 words to score 7 band, 8 band in writing. Are you serious? Do you think that those 5 words will help you to score 8 bands, or those 10 words will help you to score 8 bands? No, it is nothing like that. If you want to score 8 band, build your vocabulary base, and it is very easy to do. It is very easy to do. In our premium classes also, when we write complete essay, we understand topic related vocabulary, we understand the usage of different words, right? And I have seen students improving their vocabulary, and we don't use much fancy words. We simple writing, understandable words are easy to understand, and C1, B2, C2 level words we use. But they are not difficult, they're easy to use. We have a lot of misconception. Don't panic, don't stress yourself for vocabulary, right? Simple. Collocations. What are collocations? When we use 2 words together. Using group of 2 words together is known as collocation. When we use 2 words together, it is known as collocation. Like for example, I have written here make. For make and do, there are some collocations. Make change. I will not say do change. Make an attempt. Make arrangements. Do the dishes. Do an exercise. Do the laundry. So, now if I ask about the collocations, why we need to use collocations? It was clearly mentioned in the band descriptor that you have to use the words naturally. Collocations help us to understand or to make our writing more natural. For native speaker, if you say do the dishes, they will understand. It means they're telling me to wash the utensils, right? Do an exercise, right? We will not say perform an exercise, do an exercise. So this is how we need to use collocation. For example, we major concern, technological advancement, right? So these are some collocative language when we use 2 words together. Stepping stone, right? So we should actually learn collocation, how to do that. Whenever you are reading something, try to remember the collocations, try to pick words together. The words which are used together, try to pick them and memorize them, and then use it in your writing task or in your speaking. Collocations are important for both writing and speaking, and I always stress students to understand and to learn collocations. Now, so far we have understood about lexical resource. Just a quick